All right, so we picking up right back where we left off at on part 6. This is part 7 of the series where I'm talking about what led me to meth addiction and how I overcame it, and also how my consciousness evolution journey started. All right, so if you haven't watched part 1 through 6, go ahead and click off of this one and go watch those so you can be brought up to speed. All right, and get all caught up. All right, so where we at now? We're at the end of 2023. We at the end of 2022. Like I told y'all in the description, I'm covering the years of my addiction, which was between 2020 and the very beginning of 2025. All right, because that's when I stopped. It's February 2025. So now we're in 2022. I just got out RPF. I started working a little temp job, making a little money, and I started getting high again like a month after I got out. And that's how it went. I was just working, getting high up until there were some things that happened at the temp job I was working. You feel me? There were some events that took place that I made videos about them, but I'm gonna go ahead and touch on them. Yeah, I don't want to go back. I made a whole video talking about this, y'all. I made a whole video talking about these things. Yeah, I'm not gonna do it, man. I'll be wasting time, bro. Hey, what I'm gonna do. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add those videos. I'm gonna make a playlist. I'm gonna make a playlist for these videos, parts 1 through 7, and then I'm gonna add those videos. Cause I want y'all to go back. I want y'all to watch them. You feel me? Because it's part of my story. It's a part of my journey. You feel me? It's relevant. So I'm gonna add them to the playlist. All right, them not gonna be a part of this series, but it's gonna be a part of the playlist. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm gonna do. So I'm not gonna disclose what happened because y'all gonna be able to go back and watch those. So, but like I say, I was working, getting high, and you know, everything really was pretty much going good until just like how I was telling y'all how it had got darker, like my whole addiction, the experience of addiction was much darker. You feel me? Because like I keep telling y'all in the beginning, it was fun, but the times that I experienced that it wasn't so fun made me want to stop. You feel me? And that's exactly what happened. There was a time when I started seeing myself really, really sink into a very dark place. And it didn't take long either. It was just like a day. It was just like, yeah, it was just one day that I had experienced this. Up until that point, you know, it was okay. But then everything took a dark turn, and I seen my mind like it was just sinking and you know, descending into darkness. And I was like, nah, bro. Nah. This ain't it. I don't like this. You feel me? And I didn't like that shit at all, y'all. I ain't gonna even lie to you. I didn't like that shit at all. Where I seen the place that I witnessed my mind go, I didn't like that shit at all, y'all. See, the thing about dope is that like it give people the tendency to do evil shit. Like it give people the tendency to give in to that darkness. You know, it give people the tendency to be consumed by darkness. And it's almost as if you get turned on by evil thoughts. You feel me? Well, I didn't get turned on. No fucking way. I'm like, nah, man. Nah. You know, I didn't like that shit, and that shit made me want to stop. You feel me? But the place that I witnessed myself go, you know, I'm thinking to myself, man, I'm not supposed to be here. This ain't where I'm supposed to be at, bro. You feel me? So, if I'm not mistaken, I had some dope left at this point, and I threw it away. I threw it away, and you know, I pretty much was accepting the fact. I had came to the conclusion that I can't do this on my own. You feel me? Like, I need some divine help. You know? And this particular time, you know, even though I know the previous times I stopped, you know I still had help from the divine, but this particular time, I sought out help. I asked the divine for help out loud, like I verbalized this shit. You feel me? I ain't pray or nothing like that, but I pretty much prayed, I guess. If you just, pretty much just talking out loud to the divine, talking to the Most High, shit, talking to nature, you know what I'm saying? Talking to the cosmos, you know, is a prayer in itself. You know, you ain't got to get on your knees and structure your words in a specific kind of way. You know what I'm saying? So I just, you know, I remember what I actually did was I went outside in my backyard, right? After I walked to the store and I came back, and outside of my backyard, it's these trees. Well, it's a trees because it's kind of like this one right here. You know, it's one broke off into two, like a double headed. And before I went back in the house, I sat there by the tree, and I talked to the tree. I talked to the entity in the tree, and I was like, you know, help me release this. Help me release this shit. And I hugged the tree, I touched it, and you know, I did my little magic. You feel me? And I allowed the energy of the tree to absorb that energy and that spirit of addiction from me. You feel me? And you know, I trusted the process, and you know, I know a lot of y'all might hear this and think, like, how the fuck that, you know, how does that even work? But you'll figure it out one day. I'm gonna just say that, you know, it's gonna come to you one day. But after that, you know, it didn't immediately, like, things didn't immediately lighten up, you know, but I followed up with a Reiki healing. And now, mind y'all, we in 2023 now. Mind y'all, we in 2023. This is the beginning of 2023. I followed that up with a Reiki healing. You feel me? I did Reiki on myself. You know, I chanted some Reiki symbols. I sat, it was the very next morning, if I'm not mistaken. And I sat in the window. No, I think I went outside. Yeah, I went outside. I know for a short, brief moment, I sat at the window looking out at the sun gazing. You feel me? Soaking up the sun through the window. But then I went outside, and I did it outside, and I chanted some Reiki symbols, and you know, I performed Reiki on myself. I hovered my hands over my body, you know, over the areas, pretty much over all of my chakras and my energy centers in my whole body, but I let my hands hover over certain points for a lot longer, and it was my root chakra, if I'm not mistaken, my root chakra, my heart chakra, and my third eye, if I'm not mistaken. And after that, I said some affirmations. I let an affirmation video play in the background, and I was repeating the affirmations to myself. And y'all, it was almost as if, like, you know, the spirit of addiction, like how I say it loosened its grip on me. The first time I wanted to stop and get sober at the end of 2021, it did the same thing. Now here we are at the beginning of 2023. That what I did, the grip of addiction, the hold that it had on me, it loosened up a bit. And the rest of that day was just so beautiful. The rest of that day, I'm telling y'all, it was so beautiful. After I said them affirmations, I had gathered up some Nerf guns, and I sat them outside, and I had a litter of puppies at the time, and I had all my puppies outside, and I was like in my front yard. I was healing my inner child, y'all. I was in my front yard, you know, with my Nerf guns, just, enacting like a fucking gunfight. Just, reenacting a shootout. You know what I'm saying? Just let my inner child run wild, man. Like I was protecting my puppies. You feel me? I was protecting my puppies, And I had so much fun, y'all. And it's the very next day after I had just seen my mind descend into the darkest place that I seen it go up until that point. You know what I'm saying? And this the very next day after I did my little magic with the tree, after I did the Reiki healing, and after I said them affirmations, it was as if it was an immediate shift. You know what I'm saying? After I did all of that. And I was outside in the sun like I had never even fucking done dope a day in my life. You know what I'm saying? And I literally felt myself transform, y'all. I felt myself morph into, a better version of myself. And ultimately, I wasn't stopping for good, but it was one of them times where it was a pivotal point on my journey where it led up to me getting to where I'm at now, with almost a year of sobriety under my belt. It's times like this that I stopped. If I didn't, I wouldn't be talking to y'all right now. So I had so much fun, y'all. So I had when I had got done playing in the front yard with my puppies, I took them inside, and then I went on a walk with their daddy. And okay, so before I go any further, I forgot to mention this in the last video. So before I go any further, this is another one of them reasons why I'm talking to y'all right now, is because remember how I was telling y'all about the time I experienced the psychosis with the sirens. See, at that point, if I'm not mistaken, I was up for like 3 days. But it had got to a point to where that was as far as I would allow myself to go. Like, that was the limit. You feel me? And a lot of people, stay up way longer. You feel me? There are addicts that stay up for weeks and weeks at a fucking time with no sleep. And the longest that I stayed up was 7 days, but I still took cat naps in between the time frame of that 7 days. You feel me? I just didn't get any deep sleep that we need. We need deep sleep. You feel me? But I did take cat naps. So, yeah, 7 days without no deep sleep. But after that, I told myself 3 days is enough to be up. And after 3 days, whether I got dope or not, I'm going to sleep, nigga. Telling you, bro. I wasn't playing no fucking games, y'all. And it's things like that. It's ways I discipline myself like that, and I self-regulated myself like that, which is why I survived addiction. You feel me? If it wasn't for doing that, if I'd allowed myself to just stay up you know what I'm saying, for weeks and weeks at a time, like the average addict, I wouldn't be talking to y'all. You wouldn't be listening to me. You feel me? I wouldn't be telling my story. More than likely, I wouldn't be. So I just wanted to touch on that, because I meant to touch on that in the last part. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why I survived it, because I started regulating myself like that, where I wasn't letting myself stay up longer than 3 days. So now, coming back to where I'm at the beginning of 2023, when I had got sober, with the Reiki healing and stuff. So now I put my puppies in the house, and I went out and walked with their dad, and I found, as a matter of fact, y'all, it's so cosmic. I went outside, and I walked to this spot, this exact same spot where we at right now, and I found a clear quartz crystal. I found that junk like closer towards down that end, and what had happened was it had rained. So and it rained real hard, so the water level was way higher, you feel me, than what it is right now. It's way higher than this. And when I had came out here, it was like a day. It had been like a day or so since it had last rained. So if I had came out here and the water level was still high, I wouldn't have found the crystal. But because the water level has subsided, I found the fucking clear quartz crystal. I'm gonna show y'all. I'm gonna show y'all in my next video. I'm gonna show y'all in the next one. I found the thing about this clear quartz crystal that make it so special is that on one part of it, it got a striation. It got striations. You feel me? It got a very smooth part to where it's like striations, and you know, it's just special to me, man. It, you know, I feel like, you know, it definitely wasn't a coincidence that I found that crystal. I needed it. I needed it at the time. At the time, I needed that. I was supposed to find it. You feel me? Because it helped me stay sober for as long as I did. But yeah, I'm gonna show y'all in the next video. And the thing, you know, it's not like, see, I got this clear quartz crystal on. It wasn't nothing like this one. It wasn't nothing like this one. But you see, this one got striations all over it. It's smooth, and it got striations all around it. You feel me? Hold on. Let me take it off real quick. This one, y'all, I found this one in my backyard. I found this one in my backyard, right in my own backyard. Y'all see, it's so beautiful. But the one I found out here, it was the one I found out. Oh shit. Hold on. Wait. I think I fucked up somehow. But anyway, yeah, the one I found is very special and near and dear to me. But anyway, at this point where I'm at, okay, so that whole experience and that the whole day was just magical. You know, from you know, being as if I never even did dope a day in my life outside in the front yard, no paranoia, no psychosis. You feel me? You know, I felt the joy and the ecstasy and the bliss that, you know, that cannot compare. You feel me? It can't compare to any effect that, you know, you get from a substance, you know. And I stayed sober for a week. You feel me? It's one of the times where when I got sober, it was kind of smooth. The transition from being high and getting sober was smooth. There were times where it was very rough, where it was hard, but this time it was smooth. You feel me? There were times where I stopped, and when my appetite came back, I couldn't control myself, and I, you know, ate myself to death. You know what I'm saying? Oh, well, I damn near ate. I damn near put all the weight that I lost, I put it back. Damn near. You know what I'm saying? There were times where all the weight that I had just lost, I put it back once I got sober. But then there were times where I had a whole lot of self-control and discipline and willpower, like the time I'm talking about in 2023, where that whole 7 days I barely ate anything. You feel me? And see, I wasn't even really doing a lot of yoga at this point. I wasn't doing a lot of yoga or even exercising, But oh yeah, that's another thing I just realized, bro. That's another thing I did that solidified sobriety for me, or at least solidified. It solidified the point. It solidified me so much to help me get to the point where I'm at now. Like I said, ultimately I did end up relapsing again. But, like I say, the grip that dope had on me, it loosened again. And it's because that same day, I'm telling y'all, when I got home, the day I found the crystal out here, when I got home, it was the night of a full moon, or it was a new moon. It was a full or a new moon, and it was in Leo. It was a full or new moon, and it was in Leo. And according to Western astrology, my rising sign is Leo. You feel me? So I did a new moon. I forget which one it was. It was either full or new moon, and I did a new moon or full moon ritual. You feel me? And I did more Reiki. I did more Reiki on myself. I sure did. I did more Reiki on myself. I journaled. I played frequency music that night. I cleansed the house with sage smoke. And I also put all my crystals out in the front yard too, and let them soak under the moon. You feel me? And soak up the energy of the moon. And that was beautiful, man. It was so beautiful. And also I just remembered that same night I started talking about it. I started talking about my addiction on YouTube. You feel me? I had already been making YouTube videos, but I finally came out and talked about my addiction that same day, whatever. You feel me? Which is what led me to where I'm at right now. You feel me? If it wasn't for that day, if it wasn't for that pivotal period in my journey, I wouldn't be where I'm at now. So with that being said, that's where I'm gonna leave it at. So yeah, so we're gonna pick up right back there on the next video. So I appreciate y'all for watching. Appreciate the love and support. And I appreciate y'all for just hearing me out. You feel me? And taking the time out to, listen to a recovering addict's story. And I hope y'all enjoy, and I hope y'all get inspired and get encouraged to, make the same change and transformation that I did, especially if you're somebody that's struggling with addiction right now. So it's part 7. So I'll catch y'all on the next one, on part 8 of this series. But in the meantime, in between time, y'all be brilliant, be beautiful, be blissful, be bold, let go of all the lies you was told, and watch everything you touch slowly but surely turn to gold. And I will catch y'all on the next episode for sure.